Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Tech Tips. Today we're just going to be giving you guys a quick overview of all the different mounting systems that Griffin has to offer. We sometimes get questions on how to use them, how to take the can on and off, etc. So we figured we'd put this all in one video, make it really easy for you guys to digest. Quick disclaimer at the start of this video, YouTube is sometimes weird about putting silencers on and off, so none of the things in this video are silencers. We're going to be using blast shields, and these are not regulated by the ATF in any way. They're not under the NFA Act. So we should have no issues with the YouTube guidelines. Everything in this video is going to be in compliance. So the first mounting system we're going to be taking a look at today is going to be called EZ-LOK. This is our handgun, pistol, and kind of PCC style mounting system. It's a very simple mounting system. You can think of it sort of as a mini taper mount. The EZ-LOK system consists of two parts. It's going to be your piston, an EZ-LOK piston, which we sell for all of the Griffin silencers, as well as a lot of the other top manufacturers out there, as well as a barrel adapter, an EZ-LOK barrel adapter. You can see here, this one is going to be more of an SMG style PCC one with the extended collar. And then on the firearm here, we have just a normal 1/2x28 handgun EZ-LOK barrel adapter. So you're gonna wanna get this installed to your firearm to the recommended torque spec. Put your piston inside of your booster housing, which I can show you right here. Once this is all set up properly to run on a tilt barrel firearm, you're gonna need this booster housing set up with EZ-LOK piston. You will then install that into your blast shield in this case. And you're gonna wanna torque this down so it's nice and tight so it doesn't come loose during courses of fire. We sell a wrench for that, mate's on here. Once you have everything set up, it's as simple as threading it on until you feel that taper engage, and then you just give it a light squish and that'll lock that taper in place. Tapers have the nice benefit of forcing proper alignment with the bore, as well as taking 1.5 times the force to break loose as they do to put on. So if you crank this on, it can get really tight, but that's why we have all the different geometry features where you can get a wrench on it to break that loose if you happen to get it too tight on there. With tilt barrel handguns, you are gonna wanna check and make sure that's staying tight. Every 3 mags or so is what we tend to see with EZ-LOK. Just because there's so much vibration in the system, it will eventually work itself loose, but it's a much better, much more secure option than direct thread. So that's EZ-LOK. That's gonna apply to all of your tilt barrel handguns, your fixed barrel handguns, as well as pistol caliber carbines and stuff like that. All right, now moving on to the bread and butter, we're gonna talk about our rifle mounting systems. We'll start with the taper mount, sort of the big brother to the EZ-LOK. This is the one that a lot of silencer companies are using. It was kind of the first advancement made in mounting systems other than direct thread. So this is gonna apply to our Recce lines, our Explorer lines, and anything with a Plan A taper mount adapter. So those are here. We have the Plan A short, which is a really minimalist, lightweight version. Just be aware that because it's so short, if you have a really small blast chamber in your hub can, you might have to go with a really short, minimalist muzzle device, otherwise you could be hitting that blast baffle. Otherwise, we do sell the Plan A long, which is just an extended version of the taper mount hub, which can give you a little extra room to mount those longer muzzle devices. Here we have just an Explorer blast shield. This is a taper mount. And then we've got a taper mount tactical compensator on this Mark II here. So this again is just as simple as screwing in a light bulb. Put the blast shield over the muzzle device, thread it on until you feel it stop when it hits that taper, then just give it a nice firm handshake to squish that taper down and engage that. That'll lock it on there really nice. And then when you go to break it loose, just twist it off and pull it off. That's really all there is to that one. This is gonna be the lightest, most cost-effective, simplest to use mounting system that we offer. Another added benefit to taper mount is because it's so lightweight, it makes a really good precision rifle mounting system. The taper is going to force perfect bore alignment, so you get very minimal POI shift, and less weight on the end of your barrel means less barrel flex, which is going to keep you accurate downrange longer. So if you're looking for a simple system, a super lightweight system, a very accurate system, taper mount would be the one I would recommend for you guys. Side note, for all of these mounting systems here, you are going to want to make sure that you properly torque your muzzle device to the barrel. If you're not using something like rock set, you can do that. We don't really recommend it just because it's kind of a pain to get off if you ever want to take it off. So the recommended torque set for all your 1/2x28 muzzle devices is going to be 35 foot-pounds. If you crank that down, you should have no problems with the muzzle device backing out with the silencer. If you're using a 5/8x24 muzzle device, that torque spec is going to be 45 foot-pounds. So just make sure you get those right, and you should have no problems with that coming off. If you run into an issue where your muzzle device spins off inside your silencer because maybe you don't clean the mounting system, maybe you cranked it on too hard, maybe your muzzle device wasn't torqued properly. It can happen. We have put now a cutout or some sort of geometry in the rear of all of our mounting systems now, where you can get a bushwhacker wrench. This is a really useful tool to have. It's got this little notch here that will fit right into that slot. Then you can clamp this in a vise, really get some torque on it and allow you to break that muzzle device out of the back of the silencer if it happens to spin off inside the can. So that's taper mount, really good system for the simplest possible setup, super easy to use, super lightweight. Next we'll move on to GATE-LOK. So GATE-LOK is kind of a unique system that we developed a long time ago. It's a system that was designed around the original A2 flash hider or bird cage that comes on a lot of military issued ARs, and kind of just any off-the-shelf AR is likely going to have some form of an A2 on the end of it. But the way this mounting system works is actually there's a locking gate on here that will notch into the BFA groove on your A2 bird cage, or if you have one of our Griffin GATE-LOK muzzle devices, it works the same exact way. It's designed to work with the true mil-spec Colt pattern, A2 pattern bird cage. So if you have some weird kind of off-brand thing, it might be out of spec, so we can't guarantee it'll work with every single one. But every GATE-LOK silencer you buy from us, just like every other silencer, is gonna come with a GATE-LOK muzzle device. So if you end up having one that's out of spec and it doesn't seem to work, you will have a muzzle device in the box so you could swap out with it. One thing you just wanna pay attention to is make sure that you're not using crush washers behind the GATE-LOK. You always wanna be using shims with a silencer. So GATE-LOK is one of the fastest mounting systems out there and also one of the most versatile. You can see on this GATE-LOK blast shield, there's this gate here, which is held in place by a plate spring. So if you can see this, as I push up on this little tab on the spring, it will deflect that spring outward, allowing you to then lift up on the gate and put it into the unlocked configuration. To relock it, you simply push in on the gate, it'll slide past that spring and lock down. You just want to make sure that when that spring repositions itself, it's completely flat. We'll go over that in a minute. You can do this one-handed if you kind of get your thumb on the spring plate like that and then use your 2 fingers to pull on the gate. So push up with your thumb and at the same time pull on the gate. That's sort of the one-handed trick to using the GATE-LOK. So once you get this in the unlocked configuration, it's very simple, very fast to put this on. You'll notice on your A2 or GATE-LOK muzzle devices, you're gonna have these 2 flat portions on 180-degree sides of the muzzle device. You're going to want to line up the open gate with that flat and then simply slide it over until it bottoms out. And then what I've found is you kind of give it a slight pull back out as you push that gate in, and it'll find that BFA groove really nicely and lock into place. One way to know you're perfectly locked is when the spring is fully flush back down flat with the back of the suppressor. The gate's fully pushed in and you'll hear that little audible click. Put this by the mic, here's that click. So that's a good way to know that your GATE-LOK is fully seated, and then just always check that. There should be, 10 degrees of rotational play. That's just to prevent carbon lockup. It's not gonna affect concentricity of the suppressor at all. That's the way it's designed to be, so don't be worried if it does this. If you find yourself in a position where the silencer actually spins freely around the muzzle device, so that means you do not have a full lock on the silencer. You can see here the spring plate is still deflected upward, so you're gonna wanna make sure that gate is fully clicked down and that spring plate fully reseats so you don't have a spinning silencer. To take it off, just reverse the operation. Same thing, one-handed, push out on the spring plate, pull up on the gate to unlock, and then pull the silencer off. Very simple, very fast to use, very versatile. This is not going to be a precision mounting system in the same way as the taper mount or the DUAL-LOK is, just because it doesn't have a taper forcing that alignment. There's no risk of a baffle strike using GATE-LOK, but your POI shift can be a little higher because the silencer is not perfectly concentrically aligned to the bore. It's not a problem, it's just if you're looking for a more precise, long-range shooting, you're gonna wanna go with either a taper mount or a DUAL-LOK in that instance. This is more of a sort of run-and-gun carbine style mounting system. Again, this is also sold in a hub version as well. This is the GATE-LOK hub, and then all your different compatible GATE-LOK muzzle devices. Next, we'll move on to DUAL-LOK. So DUAL-LOK is exactly what it sounds like. It is a dual locking system. This is our most secure, most robust, mounting system that we offer. It's kind of our flagship mounting system for military, law enforcement, special forces, or anyone who just really wants the absolute best mounting system they can get. The way this system works is there is a sprung collar on the back of the silencer, in this case the blast shield, and there's a track with pins that the collar can slide down into and then rotate into the other track, and between those two tracks is going to be the unlocked position. So if you pull this down, put it in between, you can see we're now in the unlocked position. I can see these splines sticking out. That means that the silencer is in the unlocked configuration. If your collar is flush with the tines at the back, that means you're in the locked configuration. So whenever you go to mount a DUAL-LOK silencer, or if you're using one of our DUAL-LOK hubs, you're gonna wanna first put that silencer into the unlocked position. Then it's sort of like a taper mount at this point. You would thread this on, and there is a taper on this muzzle device that mates to the inside of the mounting system ahead of the threads. So that's going to give you, again, really good alignment, really good accuracy, very low POI shift, and it also has the added benefit of protecting your threads from carbon buildup. So this is a very good system that doesn't carbon lock up a lot. So once you have this in the unlocked position, you're simply going to thread that on. It's a very quick thread. And once you feel that bottom out, you don't have to crank the hell out of this. Just give it a nice firm handshake to fully seat that taper. So now, once you have that threaded on, you've bottomed out the taper, you can now move the collar into the lock position. So that's as simple as pulling out on the collar and then rotating one of the two ways. If it doesn't seat in one of the two ways, it's kind of intended that way. Go the other way and it should drop right in. This is a false lock. It's not completely flush, this collar here, with the back of the muzzle device. So I would want to try the other position. Then it drops right in there, and you can see it's completely flush with the back of the muzzle device. That means you have a good lock, and this is not going anywhere. We've never seen one that was used properly come flying off a firearm. The only time I've seen that happen is when a guy put a DUAL-LOK on a taper mount muzzle device, which is obviously not going to work. So don't do that. Make sure you're using the corresponding muzzle devices to the mounting system. So then to take this style suppressor off, just reverse the operation again, lift up on the collar, find that unlocked position where you can see the spline sticking out, break the taper loose, and thread off. This is the mounting system I would recommend. It's a little more expensive and it does add a little bit of weight, but it's going to be a lot lighter than a lot of the other locking mechanisms available on the market. And again, we do sell that in a hub, so if you're looking to convert one of your hub silencers to DUAL-LOK, you can do that. This spring has a very long lifespan, but just to reduce the tension put on it, I always store my DUAL-LOK silencers in the unlocked configuration, just so there's not any pressure on the spring. But that's pretty much it. As far as maintaining all these different mounting systems, there's not much you need to do for them. One thing I would recommend is getting yourself a set of these OD pipe brushes from our website. We sell them in a bunch of different diameters. Your DUAL-LOK, your taper mount are gonna take the 1-inch pipe brush, and it's just a good idea to clean out the inside of the mounting system every so often just to get the carbon out of there. If you have a GATE-LOK silencer, that's gonna use a 3/4 inch brush, and again, just putting that in and cleaning up the inside of the mounting system is really best practice, just to make sure you don't have an excess of carbon building up in there. Same thing for your muzzle device. You're going to want to pay attention to any sort of taper. You're going to want to make sure that's clean and brushed, clean of carbon. Threads, same thing, just keep them clean. Don't let carbon build up onto them too much. That's really when we see carbon lock, is when people either leave their silencer on for thousands and thousands of rounds, or they never clean their mounting system. That's how you run into a situation where the muzzle device can get stuck inside of the silencer. So it's best just to do the preventative maintenance to prevent that at all. Another thing we would recommend is just buying a little bit of high temp anti-seize. We sell it on our website in very small quantities, and just applying a little bit of that to your threads, to any tapered interfaces. That's just gonna, again, help with carbon lockup. But if you keep everything clean, you should have no issues with carbon lockup with any of these mounting systems, as long as you're using them properly. So we're gonna add this in here too, because sometimes people get confused. This is gonna be how to tell what muzzle device you have on your firearm and what style of mounting system that is. If you don't see any threads, it's gonna be a GATE-LOK. If you see threads and a smooth rear, it's gonna be taper mount. If you see coarse threads and a gear at the rear, that's gonna be your DUAL-LOK. So that's it. That's all we got for today. I hope you found this informative and maybe you got a little better understanding of which mounting system might be right for you, as well as how to use it. We'll post this up so that, if you're having trouble figuring out how to use a mounting system, you can just quick reference this video. Hopefully it's helpful for you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode of Tech Tips.